Uh, yes, Devendra. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, Devendra. Thank you. So,
Sorry, guys. Technology God was a little furious at me today. My laptop took longer time than starting.
no problem, no problem. Actually, we were thinking whether there is some mistake from our side to communicate the timings. So
No, no, no.
I was
I'd
little.
accepted it.
Okay, so good morning to one and all. On behalf of IIC Club, IIC Cell, which is headed by Professor Sangeeta Jadhav Madam and her team, we cordially welcome Mr. Devendra Jani for this session. And it is the first of its kind of session where we are connecting to the nature as far as innovation is concerned. And it's really great to have Mr. Devendra here. Actually, the history behind this particular lecture was very funny. Actually, we attended one MDocs talk in which MDocs used to talk with the freshers. And in that particular session, Devendra only took 10 or 15 minutes, but he almost killed the show. And from that day, I was thinking to invite him, and fortunately I had a word with Jadhav madam and she quickly gave consent to organize this session. So thank you madam for this quick reply and quick
It's our
coordination.
pleasure, and yeah, it's our pleasure, and we are fortunate to have him over here.
Thank you madam. So before we start, let me quickly introduce Devendra.
Sir,
Devendra Jani.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
if I can get the rights, I can share, right?
Yes.
Okay,
You
Yes, sir,
have.
you are a presenter. You can
You
present.
are a presenter. You
excellent.
can go ahead.
Thank you so much.
So
Sorry to break you.
let me quickly introduce Devendra. He is the product manager at Amdocs Technology Unit, Pune, and which is providing the telecom network management consulting and solutions to leading telecom providers. We know Amdocs very well. They are the one of the biggest telecom providers in Asia Pacific, Europe, and America as well. One notable thing about Devendra is he's the alumnus of IIM Calcutta, and he has a more than 16 years of IT experience. He holds a bachelor degree in computer science and masters also in information technology. He started his career with Infosys, then joined Tech Mahindra, and Devendra was nominated as top 5 Indian under the Good Samaritan Award by Forbes India. This is a rare and a very glorious occasion. He was also invited by the governor of Hiroshima for the G7 Youth Foreign Ministers meet in Japan. He was also selected by World Economic Forum among 25 global shapers to represent youth at India
To
Economic
represent.
Summit. He is a TEDx speaker, artist also, and volunteer at multiple non-profit organizations. He is a founder of Bee, the lead initiative to transfer human behavior towards bees and share the secrets of the bee world. He feels that bees are to be loved and not to be feared. So let's join hands to build the sustainable innovation. And on behalf of Army Institute of Technology, Director Brigadier Abhay Bhatt and his team, I cordially welcome Mr. Devendra for this session. Devendra, over to you.
You are
You are
unmute.
Sorry,
mute.
You are in mute.
have to unmute.
Unmute yourself, Devendra.
Sorry, good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
Firstly, apologize for all the delay. It's been a worry start of a Monday morning. Friday morning. Usually, every Friday we run a script which upgrades most of our softwares, and that's where things got a little tricky. Usually it restarts, but then it took more than 10-15 minutes this time. So I don't want this to be a simple me talking, you listening session. So what I would want to do is we would need your help in terms of listening to what's happening in your mind, and that I would need to know only through the comment section. So before we get started, let me first see how many of you are awake, by a simple good morning on the chat box. We will be talking a lot through the chat box. This is just a quick test to ensure that we are not sleeping. Great. Perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Let me quickly do a screen share. What I also try to do is every time I start this session, I have a very simple question in terms of how do we feel when we are close to nature. So what I would want to know is, in one word, if you are close to nature, say a riverbed, a forest area you're walking through, or a beach, then how do you feel? Okay, in one word, if you could help me know, how do you feel when you're close to nature? Okay, I'm getting answers. Peace, refreshed, relief. Excellent, excellent. Perfect. Happy. This is exactly what I was looking for. Relaxed, fresh. Okay, we are good. We are good. Let me quickly do. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, you are sharing the screen.
Okay, you're able to see the slide now?
No,
Right now it
no,
is
we
not.
are not.
Yes.
Let me quickly do a check. Another minute and we should be in.
Yes.
Now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Be the lead.
Okay, perfect. Let me get into the presentation mode. Okay, so the first thing first is, whoever is eating food should know about this and should thank bees for food. Because almost 70 to 80% of the pollination done for all the food we eat is all with the help of bees. They pollinate, and that's where our flowers convert from to fruit and veggies, which we could consume, or for that matter, even seeds with other animals and birds and insects consume. So this is a very tight link of us and bees vis-a-vis food. That means no bees, no food. Okay. Now, this is what I had told earlier as well in one of my sessions with some of your students, and you would be amazed to know. Last 2 years, we've heard these words very often: social distancing, sanitization, and vaccination. However, you would be surprised to know that these bees have been following this already since decades. So if one of the bees is not well, it will secrete pheromone, which will let all other bees know that it's not well, and they will maintain the right distance so that all of them are not infected. See, bees live in a very close contact hive, and if one of them is not well, it won't take much time for everybody to be infected. And this is an amazing mechanism which they've already adopted. Plus, they make something called as propolis from raisins of different medicinal trees and plants, and that is sprinkled throughout the hive. And this propolis works as a sanitization mechanism, antibacterial, antifungal. So as soon as the bee lands on it, her feet are sanitized, and that's how the whole hive is ensured it's maintained sparkling, clean and healthy. Plus, the bee which was infected, and when she recovers, she will feed the queen with the right antigens, so that when the queen is laying eggs, she gives the right immunity to the eggs. This is the first dose of vaccination. And from the eggs, when the larvae come out and when the worker bees start feeding them, they give the second dose of vaccination, ensuring that even if one of the bee is infected and got recovered, her immunity is transferred in the whole hive. This is how amazing the bee world is. And how did I get into this whole bee thing? Now, I was a little worried about the chemicals used in farming. A lot of poisonous chemicals, fertilizers, pesticides used to either grow the production or be at bay from the insects. What is poisonous for insects is poisonous for us as well. If not in a big quantity, at least in those smaller quantities, it is not good food what we are getting. So I thought, let me try and grow something in my own balcony. If not everything, I could at least get some bit of food which I know how it is grown. Plus, we in Pune had faced a lot of water problems during summers. So I thought, what's happening with a lot of people who have water, they put a lot of water in the pot. Unfortunately, the plant doesn't take all the mug of water. It hardly takes a spoon or two. And the rest of the water with the important minerals in the soil just drains out. And that is from one flat. Imagine so many flats in the society, and so many societies in Pune are just wasting water like this, which is almost gallons and gallons. So I made a bottle tower prototype where water from one bottle could come into the other one and collected at the end of it, which could be the surplus one. And I could grow those which have roots which are half of the bottle. And you would be surprised, this is actual photos of the mint and the chilies. I could also grow beans and tomatoes. No, there was an issue with the tomato tower. So there is a regular pudine ki chutney happening at my place, but something which was not working was the tomato. Now, I am sure all of you or most of you would be having tomatoes in the form of ketchup or using them regularly in your vegetables. You all should, because it's a good source of vitamin C and other important minerals. But when I did an online research, what I found was my tomato, I was seeing flowers. Okay, I was seeing nice yellow flowers on tomato. However, what was problematic was it was suffering from something called as flower dropping syndrome, where flowers were coming but they were not converting into fruit. And when I did a little bit of Google research, I found a hack, but I also got to know that there is a very important link between bumblebee and tomatoes. So the tomato flower is so tightly coupled that when bumblebee with its strong muscles shakes it, the pollen sac opens, pollination happens, and the flower converts into fruit, which is not coming all the way to the 5th floor of my apartment. I used a hack, but then that really surprised me that, oh my god, this is so important and not many of us know about it. And to my surprise, there is a honeybee research institute in Pune. In whole of Maharashtra, there are 2 in Mahabaleshwar and in Pune. And I thought, agar Pune mein hai, why not just visit it? And when I visited, they have a lovely library and a museum. And there were so many amazing facts which I got to know about these. And I thought I should be sharing this with all my colleagues. And I started talking about it. And then the ball got rolling, and Be the Lead was what took place. So let me share this with you guys as well. So the first thing I got to know was what are the types of bees we have in our country. Rock bees, which you've mostly seen nowadays. Poor bees, they make their hive on buildings or tall towers. So these bees, they live in the rocky area. They can fly high. They are bigger in size. They can take heat, but they make one big hive. Then there are Indian bees, which are in Marathi known as Satpoli, because they make 7 hives next to each other. But they live in dark. They don't like light. They need complete darkness. So they'll be inside walls or within boxes, the electricity meters and all of those areas. And then there are dwarf bees who cannot fly high, who are very small in size, and they make their hives in the bushes, shrubs. They rule in the flowering beds and the plains. So what we see is they all know what are their strengths and where they can not just survive but excel. And this is exactly what good leaders know about, because then you will excel. Since childhood, बचपन से हमको बोला कुछ नया सीखो, कुछ नया करो, but very rarely are we told, hold on, check what you are good at and get finesse or trained in that, because that will be your differentiator. बाकी सब तो सब कुछ कर लेंगे, लेकिन what is unique in you, and if you finish that and you work on it, it will make you different from others. And it's very important to work on your strengths, because a dance competition is a dance competition. A Bharatanatyam dancer knows how to dance and a hip hop dancer knows how to dance. But if a Bharatanatyam dancer is in a hip hop competition, the person will not win. So it is very important, guys, you know what are your strengths and work on those. However, there is this one bee species called Trigona. It is the smallest of all, which I've just told you all. And all of them have sting, but this bee doesn't have sting. It's called stingless bee. And all of them make hexagonal cell hives, but this one makes a round cell pots. Okay? And the honey which this bee makes is considered to be much better, and Ayurveda grades this bee's honey as the best compared to others. Why? Surprisingly, this is not of a good size. It does not have a sting like others. It does not follow the whole norm of making hives in a hexagonal shape. But still, the honey which this bee makes, Ayurveda, which is such an important old Indian science, considered it the best. Because the flower which this bee visits have medicinal properties, and that's where the honey which is made by the nectar of such flowers has a lot of medicinal compounds. And if you've seen Tulsi, the flowers is so small. Similarly, all medicinal flowers have very small flowers which bigger bees cannot visit. Only this bee can visit. So even if this bee is not like others, it's being itself and doing its work and working hard, and it is getting the much needed credit. So guys, it's okay to be different. It is important to be you. You could not be just like anybody else and everybody else and whatever is the trend or whatever is happening around. But whatever you do with your right conviction, you will get the results. Okay, can we do another guess thing? Do you know how many eyes do bees have? Any guesses? At least 3 guesses. This 2 is what we hear. Thank you, Yashwant. 2 is what everybody else is saying. Yaman is right. And that's where we start seeing a little bit of difference of opinion. 6 and 5. Okay, let me reveal the answer. So guys, unlike most of us think, bees have 5 eyes. The answer is 5. So 2 what you could see here, but 3 are within the hair. When the bee is inside the flower, those eyes give them a 360-degree view to help them understand that if there is any predator, how to be safe. Okay. Now this is an important thing about the life cycle of bees. I would want to juggle between sharing my video and see if you guys are able to see that. Let me start. Are you able to see this? Maybe if
Yes,
somebody can
yes,
unmute
yes,
it.
yes.
Okay.
We can see.
Let's see this.
Is there any audio?
There is, but I think
Okay.
it
While
Well,
screen,
We are not able to hear audio, Devendra. Audio, I think.
while share screen, you can switch on the button that is computer audio should on. While share screening, you can just stop your share screening, and again you can go for share screen. There is a top button that is share your computer audio. Switch on your computer audio.
yeah, I should have done
Yes,
that. I
yes,
did.
yes, yes.
Okay, let me restart the video.
Yes, yes, please.
It's not a very long video.
Here is a bee egg as it hatches into a larva. Those newly hatched larvae swim around their cells, feeding on a liquid food that nurse bees secrete for them. Then their head and their legs start to differentiate as they transform into pupae. Here's that same pupation process seen from above with varroa mites running around in the cells. Next, the tissue reorganizes in their body and the pigment slowly develops in their eyes. In the last step, their skin shrivels up and they sprout hair.
Perfect. That's probably a very quick sneak peek of the beehive while we are talking about it. And why do I want to tell you that it's very important to know about this is because you guys, if you are developing a solution, a software or a product, it is very important to know who you all are doing, who are you all doing this for, and even the Googles and the Amazons have rooms full of personas. Okay, for example, if they are developing a Google Maps feature, there is a room which talks about Mumbai ka rickshawala or a Mumbai ka taxi driver. And on the walls, they have the life cycle of it. What does the person do? How educated it is? How he's doing his daily stuff? Is he into a good environment? What is about the traffic? How will he be able to use while he's driving? Are the roads smooth enough for him to navigate through? All of these things are there. So when the developer is in the room and working on the feature, it helps them develop it so that the users will use it. I know that we all are smart enough and we all want a very good software or very good solution or very good product. But if you don't know who you are building it for, how are they going to use it? Is it addressing their issue? Is it friendly enough to use? Your product will fall flat. Okay, so it's very important to know the persona for whom you are developing your product, solutions, or software. Now that we just visited the hive, let me show you how organized bees are. So every hive you see, every hive, the top portion is honey, side portion is pollen, and the lower portion is broods and eggs and the queen cell. And this is synonymous to most of the leaders in terms of being organized. Good leaders are always well organized. Some of the kids you see, unka cupboard kholenge, all the clothes are falling down. They don't know where is their shoe, where is their socks, and they keep asking for help. But it's very important to stay organized so that it helps you speed up things. But equally organized in your mind with your thoughts. Because if you're organized, you have thought about things and situation, and when the situation arises, you don't panic. And if you don't panic, you take decisions which are better than those decisions which you've taken while you are in panic. ठीक है, what do you do by organizing in your mind कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मेरा plan A क्या है, plan A fail हो गया तो मेरा plan B क्या होगा, what are options I have, who are the people I need to talk to, consult, discuss, take guidance from. And all of this, if you've already thought of, things will be easier. So guys, staying organized is what we could learn from the way the bees have their hives. Next is who all are in the family. So we've all have heard that there is this queen, but there is only one queen in the whole hive, and she's managing this very tricky task of running this force of 40,000 bees. She's taking care of ensuring enough egg, enough food, security wise, where we have to stay, should we move away, how are things happening in the hive, everything. And then there are worker bees who assist the queen. They feed the babies, they build the hive, they do the security, they go for foraging, they even feed the queen. But to be surprised is the worker bees are all female bees who are ensuring that the hive runs smoothly in the direction of the queen. And then there are male bees called drones, and they do nothing in the hive, absolutely nothing. Even the feeding part is done by the worker bees to these drones. But I always urge people not to be drones, because what happens is when there is less food in the hive, tricky weather outside, the first thing the worker bees do is stop feeding the drones, let it die, because it's important to feed the babies and the larvae, because when they grow up they will work for the hive. Well, the drones are important for one task. They will be mating with the new queen and they die immediately. But this is what I tell everybody, that in the organizations you are working, if you don't add value, if you're not doing enough good work, unfortunately, if there are bad times in the organization, you will be the one who will be getting the pink slip, and you will be the drone. So it's very important that we add value and we add heart to whatever we are doing and whichever organization we are part of, be it your college, be it any company you will be part of, or for that matter your family. This is a WhatsApp forward I got about the countries who dealt very well with the pandemic and who were the leaders of those countries who would manage and plan well. This is a good eye-opener to see. Now, how many eggs does a queen lay in one day? Any guesses, guys? At least 3 or 5 guesses. This helps me ensure that you guys are not sleeping. How many eggs does a queen lay in one day? Any guesses? Thank you, Parvesh. 50 he says. Mukul says 1,000. Yes. Shadav ma'am says 100. Asha says 2,000. Yashwant says. Okay, cool guys. Mahesh seems to be pretty close. pretty close, is 1400 eggs. 700 starting with to 1400 eggs every day. And she has to continue doing the whole running the hive and taking care of everything. How cool she is. Another thing I wanted to understand with bees is how does promotion happen? क्योंकि हम लोग ऑफिस में हैं, दिमाग में चलते रहता है अच्छा काम करेंगे, you'll get good hike, you'll get promotion. But how does promotion happen in the bee society? So what is their cycle is, for the first 21 days, the worker bee will be in the cell, developed itself. When it comes out, the first day it will start doing is housekeeping jobs, saaf safai, dekhna hai sab theek hai kya. They also pee and poo in the hive, so the cleaning, sanitization, propolis chirkav, everything. On the 6th day, they have a gland which starts secreting royal jelly, which is given to the queen and the babies, and that's how they take the new role of becoming the nurse bees. On the 12th day, another gland develops which secretes wax, which they use to build and repair the hives. Then they take the architecture kind of role, ki chalo abhi thoda aur acha kaam kar rahe. And when they know a lot about how things are done, who's what and where, then they take more authoritative role, which is a guard being security. Kaun aa raha hai, kaun ja raha hai, bina hamare permission, nothing will happen. And on the 21st day, they go out of the hive to do the most important task for the hive, which is foraging, getting nectar to the hive to make honey. I thought ये सबसे important काम है, ये तो पहले दिन करना चाहिए. Everybody just, when they come out of the cell, they should just go out and get food, because that's very important. But no, they have this very important process that first develop the skill and then you take the role. Without being able to produce wax, you cannot the architecture. And without knowing how to get the foraging, how to find the direction, how to navigate, you cannot go out for foraging. And this is so true for all of us, guys. I would say for sure that most of you want to become the CEO of Google and of Amazon. Aaj bana denge aap. Will you be able to do your job well? Do you know where is the industry going? What are you supposed to plan for the next 5 years? What is the future of artificial intelligence or data sciences, and where and what your customers are asking for, and how to deal with nasty customers? Well, there is a lot we do hands-on while we are on the job, but still there is a lot we need to be prepared with. And if you're not having the right skills, even if you get the job, you will not be happy doing it. And if you're not happy doing a job, things don't turn up good. Okay, so it's very important that you get the right skills and then you take the role. Any idea how many times does a bee flap its wings in 1 second? This is 1 second, just 1 second. How many times it will flap its wings? Tiny insect. 100 says Google. Thank you for answering. Thanks Abhishek. 150 is what he's guessing. Guys, you can be wrong. Oh, Gaikwad sir says 2,500. It's 1 second, guys. 5,200. Okay. So the simple answer is 190 to 250 times in just 1 second. Such a small insect still being managing to do so much, all thanks to the energy they possess. Now, this is something which I always tell, that you need to try to be the best, which is what one of the good qualities of leaders or good leaders is. To put your best foot forward. चलता है, देख लेंगे, कर लेंगे, हो जाएगा. All of these things leaders don't do that way. They have to plan things. They have to be ready for everything, because their decisions impact a lot. of people, a lot of scenarios, and things can be tricky. And this is very evident with bees. Okay, so if you see, they put hexagonal cells vis-a-vis circle cells. The space which is required to fill in is more between the circles compared to the hexagonals. And they don't have cement or any other material, so the only thing they can make is wax. And wax is more precious than honey, because when they eat 4 kilos of honey, they can make 1 kilo of wax. So they want to use it judiciously. And that's where, if they build hexagonals, it will use less wax. Plus, the circumference of that of a hexagon is more than that of a circle, which will help them to store more honey. This is what they also use the cells for. Aren't they very intelligent? अभी कोई chemistry, algebra, geometry exam कुछ clear नहीं किया है. They still know how to do it so well. And we being so smart and being able to still make skyscrapers, and एक earthquake and everything crumbles down. But they make their hives top to bottom, ulta latak raha hota hai. But it is so strong in the base that even if you hang to it, it will not fall on the ground. That's smart, and that best efforts they put in. Again, they don't have scale or rulers to measure, and you'll find them doing this fostering, where they all come together to measure how much wax and how much space they have to build the hive. And this is all a good sign of teamwork. They all come together. Very much to learn from. Okay. Let's see if you guys are still awake. What do you see in the picture? Any guesses? What is this in the picture? If you see the way it is built and the era of wooden electric pillars, it would be easy for you to guess. Let me go to the comment section. Any guesses? What was that? Back to the picture. This would be very simple. Yes, it's a steam engine. Pranjal guessed it right. Thanks, Rashwan. This is a steam engine, and what I see is just a difference of 1 degree, guys. Water, you keep on heating it. It is water at 50 degrees. It is water at 90 degrees. It is water at 99 degrees. And with the difference of 1 degree, it becomes steam, which is so powerful that it can pull a bunch of boxes behind it. And this is what we all need, that one step, continue pushing yourself, and that 1 degree will make you transform into something which will help achieve what you want, or get you the force which you want. And why are we talking about heat here? Because bees are very smart. They use survival tactic, which is with the hornets. So the murder of hornets are so bad that they will come to the hive. Just 4 hornets can kill the whole hive of 60,000 bees and rob all the honey and the wax they make. But as soon as the bees sense that the hornet is approaching, they allow it to come inside the hive and immediately form a ball against the hornet and start flapping their wings and create heat. And you see the heat map. The red part is inside and the pink part is outside. They heat so much that at 46 degrees, the hornet is roasted to dead. And 2 more degrees, the bees will die as well. So the bees can manage themselves not getting dead, but kill the hornet. This is very important. We could be tolerant to some level of heat and negativity we get from relatives, friends, peers. Manage it. थोड़ा बहुत चल जाता है. But also it's equally important to be cool. When there's a lot of heat in the summers, there's a role called as cooler bees. They get water, sprinkle it, and flap their wings. So it works like an AC and reduces the temperature of the hive. So be tolerant, but equally important to be cool. Now, this is the picture I always experience in our corporate IT setup, okay? The first picture is how the customer explains what they want, the project leader what they understood, engineer log being engineer उन्होंने ये कारनामा कर दिया है, and then the programmers write a program assuming that this is what is asked, sales describe what they have made, documentation is like this, operations is hardly something, billing as if they have given a whole roller coaster to the customer is how they have billed. Support just knows that this is what we've given. The last picture is actually what the customer wants. What is the issue here, guys? Anybody can help me? Why is all this happened? Why do you think what they are describing, what they are doing, what communication between the department, Parvesh? Thank you, Abhishek. Miscommunication, communication gap. Excellent. Less interactions, more questioning, more clarity, lack of empathy, and no proper communication. Exactly. Let's stick to the communication part. And then I thought, how do bees communicate? And this is another amazing example of communication. So there is a dancer bee which comes in the hive. Follower bees will watch it. If the bee is dancing in round fashion, the food is within 50 miles. If it is dancing in 8 fashion, the food is beyond 50 miles. The angle to the sun it is dancing is the angle they need to fly. The duration at which it is vibrating is the duration they need to fly. And it has a sample of nectar and pollen to give as a taste to these followers bees that yahi lekar ana. Such an amazing way of communication, and it is very, very important, guys. Good leaders need to be very strong with their communication, because communication is the base of every soft skill, be it conflict management, decision making, falana dimkana. Everything is important based on communication. You could be smart, you could be Einstein, but if you don't talk, you don't explain, you're not able to discuss, you're not able to share, things will not fly. Okay, and this is an amazing example to see how bees communicate. Sanitization is what I've already spoken about, but what is very different and unique about bees is in India we also have Italian bees or European bees, which are like the Jersey cow. Jersey guy, which is from outside, gives more milk. Similarly, these bees make more honey. But what is very unique about the Indian bees vis-a-vis to these European bees is similar to the Indian culture. If you see in the old Indian houses, there is a water station at the entrance of the house. आप जूते चप्पल बाहर निकालते हैं, हाथ पैर धोकर घर में आते हैं. It's good in terms of the cleanliness. Whereas in Europe, it's okay to wear your shoes and get inside the house. बहुत ठंडी होती है वहाँ पर, it's not everybody would remove their footwear and get in the house. Similarly, in the European bees, they just allow the bees to get inside the hive with pheromone check. But the Indian bees do 2 levels of checking. pheromone check that is this bee from our hive, and frisk them that is there any foreign body, mite, any pest on top of these, so that the whole hive and the babies are not impacted. That is how the standards of cleanliness are with these bees. Okay, this is very important, guys. You've been hearing me for a lot of time and you've been very amazing in answering the questions, but let's try to do this now. We all can try and do this. I will show you first and then we will do this. What I'm planning is to do a Brahmari pranayama. It's not just me who's taking reference from bees and sharing what we can learn, but yoga 5,000 years ago has already taken reference from bees and has gifted us Brahmari pranayama. Okay, so it's very simple to do it. Just sit in your relaxed posture and just try to see what I am doing, and then we'll all do it together. Very simple. With your hands, your first finger on your eyebrows, your second finger on your eyes, slightly pressing, other two fingers on your cheek. And what do you do with your thumb? Your thumb will go in your ears so that you don't hear any other sound but the sound you make. And what is the sound you'll make? You'll try to say "m" without opening your lips. So it will sound like okay. We do this 3 times. Take a deep breath, release. Take a deep breath, release without opening your mouth and making the humming sound. And when you do this, if you put a little bit of smile and try to loosely put your lips and get a vibration feeling, that's best. And you don't open your mouth, open your eyes immediately after you've completed it. Rub your palms, put them on your eyes, open your eyes inside the palm, and then slowly get your palms down. It'll be a little hazy, but are you guys okay to do this with me? Okay guys, I'll request you all to do this so that you understand what are the benefits of it. So let's get started. Your first finger on your eyebrows, your second finger on your eyes, your other 2 fingers on your cheek, and when you put your thumb in your ears 3 times, we'll breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and slowly open our eyes inside the palm, and do it with a smile.
एक गेस्ट लेक्चर आहे. फिजिकली आहात आणि इथून मी लाईव्ह स्ट्रीमिंग करतो यूट्यूबला, कॉलेजचं यूट्यूबचं. चालेल. आता आपण कुठे होतो, सरफेसेसमध्ये होतो आणि लगभग आपण इथपर्यंत बॉडी ना ती इथपर्यंत जातात. ती आपण एक्सचेंज केलं त्याला पुन्हा आपण
Lovely. So this is said to help in calming your muscles, reduce the tension and the anxiety. If you're angry or you're frustrated, this helps reduce it. Good for your blood pressure. And for those who like singing, like me, you could do this every morning so that it is a good practice for your vocals. And if you're not having sound sleep or having a late sleeping pattern, if you do this before you go to your bed, it will help you have a good sound sleep. For those who did this, how is it feeling, guys? In one word, I really request if you could have done that. Lovely. Thank you, Mahesh ji.
50% आहे. आणि मला 50% नको, 75% किंवा 25%
Thank you, Director ma'am. Lovely. And I really urge to do this. This is thank you, Priya. This is indeed very helpful to make you feel lighter, relax. And if you are worried before exams, anything of that sort, just do this. 1 minute, everything is done. Okay. Are bees vegetarian? Yes, they are. So they have pollen which gives them protein, nectar, which meets their carbs requirement, and they have water. We should have water too, a lot of water. This is an amazing example of how bees have a bond with flowers. What bees are doing for flowers is a pollination service, very important for flowers, because flowers needs to ensure that they produce seeds. That's the law of nature, that they want to grow and propagate, and they have developed themselves with certain colors and some goodies like nectar, fragrances to attract pollinators. And some flowers have adapted themselves completely for a certain species of bees. Okay, like this bee is the only bee who's going to do the pollination for me. And in the context of companies, it is as if customers are saying, यही वो company है जो मेरे लिए काम करेगी या जिनकी services मैं लूँगा. This is an amazing thing for any company to have. Very important to understand, guys, how to connect with your customers, what they need, how to handle them, how to keep them happy. You could be the best company, but if you don't have customers, you won't be able to last for long. Okay? It's not just pollination. After pollination also, एक बार service दे दिया आपने किसी customer को, not important. Post that, how you handle, manage, support, customer satisfaction is very important. That's where this example of bees being farmer's best friend is applicable. So there is a experiment done where one of the part of the farm was covered with a net that no pollinators can get in, and half of it was open with a bee box near so that pollination can be done by bees there. And what was very surprising was the results, that the netted part had 1 bori of grain and the open part had almost 2 boris, matlab double yield. Without any fertilizers, you could get double yield if you are encouraging natural pollinators in your farm. The quality of the product was nice, good, big. Taste was awesome. The shape of the fruits and the grains is perfect if pollinated by bees. अगर आप टेढ़ी मेढ़ी ककड़ी टमाटर देख रहे हो, that means it's not been pollinated by them. And if your nimbus are not tasting tangy enough, bees they pollinate neatly. Okay, this is another issue of conflicts happening between wild and humans. So in the eastern part of India, where there are tea estates, elephants from the jungle pass through the tea estates because they are grazing areas. The tea estates fall between them, and thankfully they don't eat tea leaves, but when they pass through, they make enough damage. And that's why farmers were not happy, because they have to be on night duty to ensure elephants don't pass by. And for that, they used to burst crackers if the herd of elephant was in the farm. And elephant ears are very, very sensitive, guys. How sensitive? एक elephant पूना से दूसरे elephant जो मुंबई में है उससे बात कर सकता है. Hi, how are you doing? पानी है वहाँ पे? यहाँ पे पानी है. Through their sound waves. And with that sensitive ears, if you burst a cracker, they go mad and they run back to the safety of their forest. But unfortunately, the calf, baby elephant, cannot come up to the speed and it's left behind. And every morning, forest department had issues because उनके पास orphan calves थे. And calf of a elephant is not like a kitten or a dog, puppy. आप उसको बिस्किट खिला दो और हो जाएगा बड़ा. It will need a lot of food and money. And forest department is not like RTO कि बहुत पैसे छुप रहे हैं. They don't even get enough budget. So they were worried. Now the elephants are worried. The forest department is worried. The farmers are worried. And I usually, when I present this issue to students, I ask them for solutions. What could be a solution for this? Okay? अभी chat पर नहीं हो पाएगा. But बहुत सारे स्मार्ट बच्चे होते हैं और कुछ बहुत ओवर स्मार्ट बच्चे भी होते हैं. रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी से ऐसे कुछ तो वायर लगा के अलार्म्स लगाएंगे हम, और पता नहीं क्या 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 टेक्नोलॉजी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हर जगह घुसाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, some intelligent soul try to put bee boxes because they know elephants are very smart. They know that bees, if they sting at their ears, elephants will go bonkers. So they try to put bee boxes at the route which they found elephants were taking. And surprisingly, elephants understood that they shouldn't be passing this. They took a detour where the actual path was made for them. And things got pretty good. Farmers were getting an additional income with the bee boxes. They haven't had to do night duty. Elephants were still okay to take a detour and not run back in the forest. And forest department was not having orphan calves to take care of. This is called a win-win situation. जिसमें सारी parties, अगर somebody suffering and you are not in a solution, it's not a win-win. But always try to come up with a solution which is win-win for all. Okay? This amazing example that sometimes just with basic solutions which are natural or close to nature can do wonders. ठीक है, सो ज़्यादा दिमाग मत लगाओ, कभी-कभी नेचर पे भरोसा करो. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard about this. I have heard about this. आजकल बहुत हनी फ्लेवर्स है मार्केट में. जामुन हनी, नीम हनी, मस्टर्ड हनी, अजवाइन हनी, and whatnot honey. And I thought that bees were just supposed to go on any flower they get and come back and make honey out of that nectar, which is so human. हम कितनी सारी चीजें कर रहे होते हैं साथ. But what I was surprised to know that bees are very particular about the task they take in hand. Hive से flower पे जाएंगे. If there is nectar, take it, come back to the hive. If there is nectar on that flower, go back to the flower, come back to the hive. If there's another flower on the same plant or the same tree, continue doing this. That means if it is a neem bloom, whatever nectar it gets is about neem. If it's a ajwain bloom, whatever nectar it gets has a pollen or ajwain flavor in it. And this is very important to know, based on a research done on humans, that if you do one task at a time, your results are better than doing multitasking and not coming to results or conclusion to any task which you're doing. And I'm not saying this that we all should stop doing multitasking, because it varies. My mom is like so good at doing a lot of things together, multitasking. And me and my dad are not that good with managing too many tasks. So see to it how you can manage it and try to manage minimum or less tasks. Again, there are very few human careers we know of where we put down our lives, and I'm fortunate enough to be addressing this to the Army Institute of Technology, the college, AIT, where most of us are aware that in the forces you lay down your life for the country. And another one could be firefighters, for citizens and saving them. They put down their lives. Not many professions you see that in humans, but in bee society, every bee is ready to lay down its life for the hive. Unfortunately, when they sting, their stomach rips off, so they cannot survive for any longer, and then they die.
extend surface go ahead.
This is another example I want to share with you all about how they care,
Certain surface मध्ये
how
तुम्हाला
the bees
curve आणि
care
surfaces
for
choose
each
करायचे.
other. Okay, this is a video which was taken where it's taking time to open, but where a bee was stuck in some syrup or sticky thing where all her wings were stuck, and one by one there were bees who came to help and untangle her, started cleaning her, and I have some issue with this. Let's continue. And it's amazing to see how they came together to help this one bee who was stuck and free her with that sticky glue. Contradictory to humans, अगर किसी का accident हो रहा है, we see people taking out their mobiles and taking videos rather than helping them. Shameful behavior. Okay, this is another amazing example of the connect of bees with the queen. So a woman comes from her shopping, and when she's at her place, she sees this whole hive on the car, and she panics and go back to her house, saying, "Thodi der mein aati hu, let's see what happens." She comes back in the evening. The bees are still there on her car, and all her shopping is inside the car. She waits for the second day. Early morning she comes and they're still there. This time she's like, okay, I call a beekeeper. For 2 days they are still stuck. So he comes in with his wheel. He opens the dicky. Accidentally the queen was stuck in the dicky. She flies and the whole hive flies behind her. They're struggling for 2 days to free the queen who was accidentally stuck in the dicky of the car. How committed they are to the queen. And it's equally important for all of us to stay committed to what we are doing. If you're studying, if you're working, be committed to that. Because it is evident. It is evident in the way you manage things, and it's also evident with the results. If you are committed, your results will be better. If you're not, तो फिर आपको वैसे ही results मिलेंगे, job में वैसा hike मिलेगा, results में वैसे score मिलेंगे. Okay, it's very important, guys. Another example of Google Plus human-made software product by one of the good companies नहीं चला, ये software बंद हो गया, end of life. दूसरा product honey bees ने बनाया हुआ है. A Tutankhamun tomb was opened after 3,000 years, and the honey in it was still edible. And food industry is going mad कि यार हमें तो expiry date डालनी पड़ रही है. How are bees doing it? And without clearing any chemistry exam, they know that if you break the sugar into sucrose and fructose, it will last longer than just keeping the sugar, which will ferment and spoil itself. How smart bees are. So what all people extract from bees is honey, which I think is only for bees, guys. One bee in her whole lifespan going to 30,000 flowers can make half a spoon of honey for her colony, for the hard-working worker bees, which we are taking. It is not for us. Bee venom is also used in the drug industry. It is said that if 5 bees sting you, you have the enough component to not get arthritis. I can't claim the benefits, but arthritis medicines are made from bee venom. Propolis, I explained you, used for keeping the hive sanitized. Bee wax and bee pollen. Royal jelly is what the worker bees make for the babies, and the queen is said to be the world's costliest food, a superfood. There's another video which I'm not sure if you could see, but it is an amazing video where you see how innovative bees are. There is a lot of innovation we are learning from nature, from self-healing skin of Komodo dragons to self-healing hands like salamander to staying longer like Greenland sharks for 400 years. उनका जीन हमारे जीन में डालने की कोशिश हो रही है. But unfortunately, the shark only becomes an adult after it is 120-year-old. जब नहीं रहा है. But in the video, I think there is issue with my update, so I'll skip it for now, but I'll share it later on. Is a bee is taught to pull a string and get nectar or sugar syrup. And it does that. It trains itself. एक कीड़े को training देते हुए we have never seen. And surprisingly, it tells everybody in the hive with its bee dance that go here, pull the string and get the nectar. And that colony is there to do this. And there was another research which was done with their brain, their neurology. And when they eat honey, they secrete similar chemicals like humans when we eat chocolate or sugar. And this is very surprising. एक कीड़ा इंसानी brain की तरह react कर रहा है. That's so much against the ego of humans. But there's a lot to discover about these bees and a lot to learn from them. Okay, this was a recent news where honeybees, the Russian scientist trained them to detect virus. I told you how finicky the queen is about cleanliness and health and hygiene in the hive. So they can sense, just like dogs can smell, bees are also. Just two things on earth, it seems, have very strong sense of smell. Is dogs and the bees, and they smell and point out that this sample had the virus and the other sample doesn't, which is so cost effective. In seconds you know the results, whereas human tests are taking 24 hours or 15 minutes. That's smart these bees are, you know. Being swift is the whole point. How does the hive gets the queen? And who becomes the queen next? Now, surprisingly, unlike humans, ये royal family के लोग ही royal throne पे बैठेंगे. Here it is democracy. The queen doesn't decide who becomes the queen. Oh, I should have asked you a question. Who decides the queen? Drones are worker bees and the queen, and the worker bees will decide who will be the queen of the hive. If the queen is old or if the queen is dead, they will elongate last 5 cells, 3 or 5 cells, put more royal jelly so that the worker bee inside it gets her reproductive system completely developed so that she can become the queen. And when the first bee comes out of the queen cell, she will be declared as the queen and she will sting all other queen cells so that no queen comes out. If 2 bees come out of the queen cell, the worker bees will ensure that they fight and the winning bee will be the queen of the hive. A lot of democracy happening here. And are you social or introvert is what most of us think, you know. मुझे ज़्यादा बात करनी पसंद नहीं है, मुझे ज़्यादा लोगों से मिलना पसंद नहीं है. I am okay reading my book. I am okay being with myself. I am okay sipping a tea just by myself. Whereas some want to go for sutta together, want to go for tea together, want to party together. So what we've known so far is about the social bees जो एक साथ रहते हैं, hive बनाते हैं, छत्ता बनाते हैं. All the examples I've shared with you was all about the social bees. But it's okay to be with yourself and not be too social, because there are solitary bees also. These bees live a solitary life
कारण की आपल्याकडे एकच
They don't
पार्ट
like
आहे
hives.
वेगवेगळे पार्ट्स जर असतील
They have a short
तर
cycle.
ते
And one of my favorite
एक्सटेंड
is the
करण्यासाठी
blue
असतात.
banded bee.
कारण आपल्याकडे एकच आहे
It
ना,
makes
एवढी जमत
its
नाही.
nest
याच्यावर जमणार नाही.
in mud.
पण बाकीचे
And we've seen this bee, बहुत बड़ी सी black color की bee होती है. It is the carpenter bee, guys.
आणि ते वेगवेगळ्या
पास
नावाने
से जाती है, and we hear that just like saw cutting wood, it makes holes in the wood, lays its eggs and dies. It's a carpenter bee.
साईडला घेऊन जाऊ.
And just like we've heard of cuckoo bird, which cuckoo which lays its egg in other bird's nest, there's also a similar smart bee, which is called the cuckoo bee, which lays its egg in other bee nests. So these are all solitary bees. Okay, let me see which
आपल्याला वेगवेगळं पाहिजे होतं.
no. What is this lady doing, guys? Any guesses?
गांडूमध्ये सगळं चांगलं होतं.
I would have asked which part of the world this is coming from, but my slide says China story. Any guesses? What is this lady doing?
मी काय करतो US पार्टनर
It'll be difficult to guess. Parvesh says capturing bees. Asha guesses pollination. One more guess.
जातो याला वन
What is this lady doing? There is a stick-like thing in her hand. Flowers दिख रहे हैं. She's not looking very happy though. Oh, you guys are very smart and you're guessing the answer. So the answer is pollination. In one of the provinces of China,
आता हे दोन
the
parts आहेत.
the pollution levels have become so high that the bees
Close the
have
between the
run away,
mid surface.
and therefore farmers cannot run with their land behind the bees, so they have put people to do pollination. जो मुफ्त में मिल रहा था, they have to pay for this pollination, and therefore the food prices in that province have also gone up. And you see, most of us, if there are beehives next to our place, we will burn them alive or spray pesticides. With folded hands, I request not to do that. Bees are very important for us. They are coming out from village farms because there's a lot of chemical spraying over there. Cities are still a little better, but here also we are killing them. If bees are next to your place, you should be very happy and thankful because they are a mirror to nature. They are telling you your place is very close to nature. And we just started with our session saying if we are close to nature, we feel happy, we feel fresh, we feel at peace, we feel relaxed. And why? Because if there is radiation in your area, bees will run away. If there is pollution, water, air, soil, bees will run away. If there is less of water, flora, fauna in your area, bees will run away. Less of oxygen, they'll run away. और अब तो ऑक्सीजन की कीमत सबको पता ही चल गई. Okay, so let's welcome bees in our city and not ask them to not kill them. Okay, this is another important quality of good leaders, guys. I think of Ratan Tata and alikes, that you have to be kind and be humble if you are at a leadership position. And who better than bees to learn it from? They're so important for us. Everybody on this earth, animals and others, birds, get food because of bees. No bees, in 4 years time everything just wipes off. इतने important अगर humans होते तो हम तो हवा में उड़ते. Okay, and bees are still so humble. They're busy with their stuff, not interfering anybody else, not planning to go to Mars, doing their job, feeding their babies, taking care of the family, happy. We have gone through very tough times, guys. these last 2 years have impacted us directly, indirectly, financially, mentally. And it's very important that in tough times, we, even if it is difficult, try to think positively, affirmatively. एक तो ये positive word भी पूरा बेचारा बदनाम हो गया है last 2 years में. But we've heard about charges. Atoms have charge, and you'll be surprised that we carry a positive charge around them every time, so that when they land into the flowers, the negatively charged pollen sticks to them and they can collect the pollen in the basket in their knee and take it to the hive. And metaphor from this is, let's be positive so that we don't get affected with a lot of negativity around or tough times, because this will pass. This will pass by. It's a cycle of life. We have lows, we have highs. We are seeing a ray of hope, and very soon things will start falling in place. Unfortunately, farms are not a good place for them. Cities are becoming a better place for them. So what I could only urge you all is to plant flora and fauna which is bee friendly, and not very tricky to think कि ये क्या खाएंगे और क्या पिएंगे. जो भी हमारे आसपास है, all of those native gerberas and lilies and orchids, ये fascination बाहर ही रहने दीजिए. Everything local, sadafuli, mogra, your local flowers and trees, be it neem and all of those, if you plant them and take care of them, it's enough for bees to have food. Any guesses, guys? What tree is this with white flowers and these little round leaves? This is very important, guys. Any guesses? See, guesses you could be right or wrong, okay, so don't worry. Have you seen this? A hint I could give you is we use this in our kitchen. Any guesses what tree is this? आजकल बच्चों को पता ही नहीं चलता है पत्ते देखकर कि कौन सा पेड़ है वो. Earlier it was very simple. अभी सब सुपरमार्केट से आता है, पेड़ों से नहीं आता है कुछ. So any guesses? What is this tree? Could try to. अरे drumstick. No, curry patta has actually much bigger leaves. This is, guys, drumstick. मराठी में शेवगा बोलते हैं. Abroad में मोरिंगा चल रहा है आजकल. And US have said that this is a superfood. Amount of calcium, potassium, vitamin C सब ज़्यादा है. हम तो खैर इसको किचन में यूज करते ही थे, लेकिन जब तक वो टर्मरिक लाते नहीं बताएंगे तब तक हमारा हल्दी वाला दूध पसंद नहीं आएगा. And this is also very important for bees, because this is one of those few trees which flower for 9 months, giving enough food for bees. And good food for us also, super food. So I would request, so many students are here in our session, if you could plant one of them, nursery से ले आइए, लगा दीजिए, उसका ध्यान रखिए, and send me a picture that you have done that on my Be the Lead handle. I will be thankful and send you some goodies. And what do I do with this is, because I am doing this with many schools and colleges already, where had I been in your college I would have got these and given to some of you to take care of it, is a tree friend. हमारे पास एक दोस्त होता है, एक दोस्त होती है. Some of us also see friends in dogs and cats. मेरा बूजो भी मेरा है, कीटी भी मेरी दोस्त है. But not many have tree friend, guys. ये एक वो दोस्त है जो कभी भाग कर नहीं जाएगा. Will stand your ground, give you shade, give you food, give you oxygen, and also help other plants, other insects, other animals around. So please make a tree friend and send me a photo if you are one of those brave and smart students who have taken this decision. इतनी smart होती है bees, but मेरी तरह इन्हें swimming नहीं आता. So if you put a water station, put stones, pebbles, stick, so they can land and take a sip, otherwise they'll drown. So these are my projects, guys. I work on the framework of law, avoid land pollution. बहुत जगह we want to say that the farmers don't pollute the land with chemical pesticides and fertilizers. So I'm training the farmers on bee-centric farming, which will help them with better yield. और जो खाना निकल रहा है वो cancerous खाना ना होकर natural food. If you see the sword of Shivaji Maharaj, Rani Lakshmi Bai और महाराणा प्रताप, इतनी heavy swords है हमसे उठाई भी नहीं जाएगी. और वो उससे उठ के they used to fight battles and win the battles. Why? Because the food they had was so nutritious. What we're eating now is all crap. So let's encourage our farmers to grow naturally and not fall prey to these Western people telling them buy seeds, buy fertilizers, and then fall in the vicious circle of death. Get depth increased and then fall in that trap. Then working with avoiding air pollution by growing bee-friendly plantations and making gardens which are bee-friendly. So I'm teaming up with the garden department to ensure that our parks are bee-friendly. If your college would want your college to be a bee-friendly college, then let's work on this. And water is also where bees are dying of thirst. हमारी नदी और ponds, they're so polluted that the water is not worth drinking. So we go to these riverbeds and let people see how dirty it is and collect all the plastic which is there in it and touch at least those who volunteer for this. Okay, I do all of this on pro bono, no charges, no money involved. So my tree friend is school, bee-centric farming with the farmers, river cleanup drive with the citizens, bee-friendly parks with the civic body, and Be the Lead session which I'm taking now with you guys. I told you tomatoes नहीं आ रहे थे. Online पता चला that if you put your phone in vibration mode, it works on the same frequency as the bumblebees. Pollination sac opens, pollination happens, and I could get some tomatoes. But if you'll see, वो टेढ़े मेढ़े हैं. They're not like round, perfect shape, and they tasted okay. But that was a hack which I used, and I don't advise anybody to use that hack. Grow your vegetables. Be empathetic towards bees, and I hope for all those who fear bees and only knew about sting and honey, now you know more about bees, and you could see that we could learn something from these tiny little insects. That brings me to the end of my session, guys. My Insta handle is Be The Lead and my personal handle is Be Devendra Jani. On Facebook page, it's called Be The Lead, and my email address is devendra.o.jani@gmail.com. Please, if you want to run with any of these projects, connect with me. Volunteer, guys. This is the right age for you to volunteer, to learn how to network, learn how to run the projects, learn how to implement ideas, and learn that it is very important to be on ground. हवा में और online तो हर कोई activist बनता है. It is very important to have impact on ground. So that's it from my guys. From my end, guys. I will be open for questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Devendra. It was a wonderful session. In fact, no words. It's all feelings and बहुत सालों से मैं सोच रहा था कि अगले जन्म में मैं क्या बनूं. So आज उसका आंसर मिल गया कि क्या बनना चाहिए नेक्स्ट जन्म में. And hopefully all of us, those who have attended this session, must got the answers right. Okay. And definitely this can be the true what you say honor for the bees if we decide to be bees in the next janam. So with this, we open the session for question answers. Guys, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat, or please unmute yourself if it is a lengthy question or it needs to be asked verbally. Then you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself and then ask the questions. So we have around next 10 minutes or so for question answers, and then we will close the session. So over to you, participants. If you have any questions, either type it in the chat or make unmute yourself and ask the question, but be brief and be fast, like bees.
For those who are still thinking, let me know how was the session for you guys in the chat section. And no question is good or bad question, guys. Feel free. It's okay to be stupid, but it's very important to get your questions addressed. Let me hear how was this session for you guys. I hope it's not a wasted Friday morning.
No, absolutely not. It was a great session, amazing. So they have started replying, but they have also started thinking which type of questions they should ask. So be fast, guys. We have a next meeting schedule, and Devendra also would like to go with his schedule. So be fast. Please ask the question, or then we'll wait for a couple of minutes. If there are no questions, I will just extend vote of thanks to you, Devendra.
Till then, I would like to probably answer a usually asked question, that what happens if a bee stings you? And most of the times we panic, but it's very important to tell you this, that the bee sting is alive, guys. When it stings you, okay, it is alive. So when you press it and you remove it, you are actually putting more venom into your body. So it's very important that you scrape off the sting and not press it. Okay, take a key or any other sharp thing to just scrape it off, stick or anything. If you press it, you're pressing more venom. Also, that sting has pheromone signals sent to the hive, जहाँ पे 40,000 मक्खियाँ हैं, that hi, I am here, इसको sting करो. So it's very important that you apply something immediately, say oil, mud, wash it off, so that the pheromone is not there and other bees are not coming and stinging you. Don't panic and don't run, because they see a lot of movement. The less the movement is, the better it is. Cover your eyes and face. Not all get too much impacted by bees, because we Indians are mostly immune. But if you think you're stung, visit your doctor, so that there's no swelling in the nose or throat area which causes issue in breathing, and there is no side effect of the sting. So don't worry, dogs also bite, but we just don't throw away all the dogs from the city. So sometimes bees bite.
Thank you very much. So Devendra, on behalf of Army Institute of Technology, I extend my sincere thanks to you. Especially first, I should extend the thanks to HR team of AMDOC, because I was in touch with them when I attended the session, your session in the AMDOC Campus Connect. I got connected to Mr. Sanjay DeCosta, who is from HR, talent acquisition. I requested him. I took your number, and he was also very positive and free to share all the details with me. And then with our conversation, actually this session was supposed to be held in the last month, but because of the exams and all, I requested you to just to be on hold. And thanks a lot for you. Without much discussions, you agreed to deliver the session. And as far as Innovation Club is concerned, Institution Innovation Club, it was a big activity, because now when they are coming to the nature, when they are close to the nature, they can innovate the things, they can connect the technology to the nature. And this particular session will give them the insight how to deepen their views. Okay, it's a B is only a one media or a one occasion or a one subject, but likewise there are hundreds of such amazing facts and figures in nature where they can study. And why we are engineers, because we need to be the engineers for society. If you are not doing anything for society, then your BE, BTech, ME, MTech, all these degrees are in vain. Yeah, you cannot say when I am doing my duty, I should do it for students. Similarly, students should do for society. So that is how it is. This is the chain, and you rightly propelled it. You rightly put it at. So thanks a lot on behalf of IIC, on behalf of Army Institute of Technology. If any faculty want to say something at the end, we can definitely invite the faculty. Any faculty members to say something about the session? Gaikwad sir or Aparna madam or anybody?
Meanwhile, I would like to extend my thanks as well, Manoj sir. I think this is a great opportunity to connect with the youths. And I've been to AIT campus in Pune. It's amazing green campus. I'm sure now students around will try to make it more flowery for the bees and keep their eyes open.
Right. And we look forward to invite you. Hopefully, maybe next year. May God allow us to do so as early as possible. And you can see the campus. You can suggest how this campus can be bee friendly campus. There are a lot of we can say the areas where you can develop the things, or rather we can support you to develop the things. Wishing you all the very best, Devendra, and looking forward to see you on the campus. Thanks MDocs, thanks IIC, and it's all because of this profession of training and placement I could get connected to a lot of great speakers like you, and hopefully, and I am very happy I'm very happy that you are now connecting to our college, not only for students, even for our faculty members, those who are doing the research in different areas. They get the insights, and it's all happening because of such wonderful sessions. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Goodbye, Devendra.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.